Tesla's robot dream, Optimus or Overreach? According to recent business reports, Elon Musk says the Optimus humanoid robot could, quote, eliminate poverty, work around the clock, and be 5 times more productive than human, with a future price somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 at scale. We've also seen stagey moments, handing out Halloween candy, and even a kung fu cameo with Jared Leto, one of my favorite actors. But Tesla concedes Optimus is not ready for mass production. That's the tension. The engineering choke points are dexterous hands, safety, and reliable autonomy in messy real-world environment. The test isn't a stage routine. It's months of repetitive, dull, dangerous work done safely, cheaply, and at scale. Here's another reality check. Timelines and promises have slipped before. The 1 million robo-taxis by 2020 goal that Elon Musk promised us never materialized. A coast-to-coast self-driving demo by 2017 that Musk promised never appeared. Feature complete full driving promised in 2019 still needs active supervision. Level 5 autonomy has been next year for years. The paid Tesla network of money-earning robotaxis hasn't launched. Solar roof mass rollout schedules slipped repeatedly. The Model 3 ramp to 5,000 cars per week hit so-called production hell before stabilizing. Hyperloop and Boring Company transit promises fizzled in Los Angeles. The next-gen Roadster timeline slid years. And Neuralink's broad human use timelines were optimistic long before small early trials. Optimus may be transformative, but the scoreboard is jobs done, not sizzle reels. What's the real message here? Am I excited about Optimus and the idea of robots doing all the dirty work you and I don't want to do? Absolutely. But do I put any faith in Elon Musk actually delivering a promise on time for anything? Absolutely not. This could be 5, 10, 50 years away. Let's dig a little deeper. Now, I'm well aware that in some quarters, any criticism of Elon Musk is treated the same way some intense religious followers react if you criticize the founder of their religion, i.e., blood shoots out of their ears, they go crazy, they think you are insane, and all they want to do is attack you. So I understand that Elon Musk has a fanatical following. And he does deserve credit for arguably being one of the most, if not the most successful entrepreneur in the history of the world. So yes, he's had tremendous accomplishments with Tesla and with SpaceX, PayPal, a lot of other ventures. But he does have a disturbing habit of making promises, quite often 18 months, 2 years, 5 years from now, and then never delivering. He's done it again and again and again. And a gullible media, podcasters like Joe Rogan, just lap it up. Tell me more, the great Elon. You're a genius, Elon. Wow, that's wonderful. I can't wait. And very rarely do they go back and point out, well, on this date, you promised this. 18 months later, it didn't happen. He's rarely called to account. Now, I outlined some of these specific promises that he's broken before. But again, just one big one, 1 million robotaxis by 2020. Well, it's 5 years ago. Never happened. Now, many people and stock analysts like Scott Galloway now believe that Tesla is essentially a meme stock. Its valuation is so astronomically high, it bears no correlation to any kind of similar car company. And that it's essentially GameStop is what it is. It's people investing just on hype and on a belief that Elon is some sort of a Marvel character from a movie. And yeah, he has done marvelous things. There's no doubt about it. But are we actually going to see robots? Now, let me be very clear. I'm all in favor of technology. I'm not a Luddite. I'm not someone who says, oh, these robots are going to kill us. And it's going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, and we got to do everything we can to stop it. No, I look forward to a day when a robot can wash dishes, can provide basic health care for people, can provide home health care for people who otherwise would have to be warehoused in very low quality condition retirement homes and assisted living facilities. And I look forward to a time when many, many low-paid home healthcare workers can be trained and perhaps find gainful employment, higher income employment in other industries. Hope that happens. There's no guarantee of that happens, but I certainly hope that that can happen. I have family members who are in need of home health care workers, and a robot could pick them up if they fall down at 3 in the morning, whereas I, living in another city, can't do that. A robot, as Optimus is envisioned, could cook for you, clean, could do menial tasks, and yes, in theory, could have conversations and alleviate boredom and loneliness. Now, do I want to live in a world where everyone is sitting at home on a couch with a robot butler doing absolutely everything? And we're just sitting on the couch doing nothing all day long, too lazy to get up to go to the grocery store. I don't know if I want to go that far, but it's also easy for me to say, oh, we should just all get off our duffs and do whatever we want. I'm healthy. My legs work fine. My body works fine. But there may be a point when they don't. And while spending $20,000 or $30,000 for a robot is not in the budget for a lot of Americans and most people around the world, it's certainly dramatically less expensive than if you had to pay even low wages for a home healthcare worker, even 20 hours when you compound that over a 12-year period. So it is going to be a massive, massive savings of money and perhaps a dramatic increase in the quality of life for people who need care. Also, frankly, just for people like me who are really lazy. I don't like to make my bed. I don't like to wash dishes. I don't like to dust. I don't like to clean a garage. So there's certainly a part of me that does fantasize about a robot, not for any lascivious purpose, but just for sheer laziness. Now, I'm reading Tim Wu's latest book about technology, and he puts his finger on something I've thought about in the past, but never really had the idea crystallized in my mind. He points out that the biggest success that a company like Amazon, a platform like Amazon is tapped into, is it really harvests an extreme force in American society that we don't typically think of as a whole sector and as a whole driving force commerce. But it's this laziness. Tim Wu correctly points out that so much of Amazon's success is just tapping in to this fundamental human drive, not for lust, not for power, not for greed, not for any of these things we normally think of as huge motivating powers of humanity, but for the desire to be lazy. Yes, Amazon is great tapping into all of our desires to be lazy. I could shop around for this new couch on 10 different platforms, look at 20 different reviews, compare pricing and shipping cost everywhere, or I could be lazy, type in shopping sofa, see what the best price with the highest rating is on Amazon, one click, buy it, free shipping. Yes, Amazon has mastered the art of tapping into human beings' laziness to their credit. So they're not just logistics experts, which Amazon is, they're also experts tapping into this fundamental human weakness. And I recognize it in myself. It's a weakness I have. Someone shows me how to be lazier to get something done. I'm all in. And that's why I do think ultimately, whether it's Elon Musk robot or someone else's robot, we are going to live in a world of robots. Because once you've gone to having someone else clean up your dirty dishes or make your bed, it's going to be very hard to ever going back to the old ways.